Is Bitcoin going to $1 million a coin? Or is it going to zero? Or is it going to stay somewhere in between? Let's see if we can figure this out. I have watched many hours of video from YouTube, Bitcoin maximalists, Cathie Woods, Michael Saylor, Anthony Pompliano, and I certainly have studied up on the bull case, but also the bear case. And I want to weigh in on this and give you my opinion, and it's just simply that, my opinion. So do not take it as investment advice. That being said, in my opinion, I think there's a 25% chance that Bitcoin is going to be much more valuable than it is today. And I'm not going to put a dollar sign on it, but many times the current price. And for this to occur, we need to see more unstable countries adopt it as a primary currency, or at least a legal secondary currency. We need to see companies like Tesla start accepting it for payment, where people can buy cars and shoes and clothes and coffees using Bitcoins and fractions of Bitcoins. We've seen little of that so far, but it really has been stagnant. And we need to see governments, particularly the US government, make peace with Bitcoin, accept that it's here to stay, regulate it, tax it, keep their eye on it. And if all of these things happen, I think there's a 25% chance, then Bitcoin is going to be way more valuable than it is today. However, I also think there's a 25% chance that it becomes zero, worthless, completely, what else can we say? Negligible. Their altcoins continue to be created, and every time they do, they take a piece of the pie, some of the money that speculators are using to put into digital currencies. Companies seem to be afraid to adopt it, and we really haven't seen much headway in that regard. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. A few countries are using it in a limited degree, but maybe those will become failed experiments. And I think the biggest risk is that governments, particularly the US government, will feel threatened by it. Do they want the US dollar replaced by some ethereal digital coin? No, I think they want to keep their George Washingtons and their Ben Franklins. And if Bitcoin becomes more powerful, they might try to tax it, regulate it, abolish it into oblivion. Can they even do that? I don't know. But it seems like there's a chance. 50% chance that it just continues to be an amplified speculation. If you look at the lifetime price chart of Bitcoin, there was a spectacular parabolic move. But since 2018, it's just been an amplified mirror of the S&P 500. I overlaid the Bitcoin price with the S&P 500. They've made the exact same shape. It's just that Bitcoin has made higher highs and higher lows. Clearly, we all thought that Bitcoin was going to be where people flee to, the flight to safety coin, right? The new gold. But what happened in 2022? It crashed just as hard as the loftiest growth stocks, right? In my opinion, I think the 10x moves in a year, I think they're done. So a lot of people got in on that, made their fortunes. That's awesome. But just as Tesla is not going to go up 10x in a year, well, I guess it might if they solve FSD, but maybe that's not the best example. When companies reach maturity, they don't make these huge moves anymore. And I think that's the case with Bitcoin. I think that now it will just continue to mirror the S&P 500. And when we are in a risk-on bull market, people are flush with cash, they're making lots of money at their jobs and in the market, that they're going to pour some of this money into Bitcoin, and it's going to run up. And during bear markets, when people are tight on cash and their other investments are declining, they're going to pull money out of Bitcoin and it's going to crash, just like the general market. It's just that, speculation. Let me stop and think a minute. So does that mean we should be buying Bitcoin? Well, that's entirely up to you. For me, because there is that 25% chance it's going to become very valuable, I definitely want to have some Bitcoin, and I do have some Bitcoin, but an amount that I'm okay with completely losing, with it going to zero. I'm not going to lose sleep at night if Bitcoin over the next few years goes down to zero. And I personally am not too interested in trading it. I'll hold it until it becomes either really valuable or it's obvious that it's going to zero and sell it for a big loss. And so if you want to do what I'm doing, your options are, I guess, to buy it all in one chunk and then forget about it for 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 years or 50 years, pass it on to your kids. Or you can try to dollar cost average, buy a little bit each month. And there are companies like PayPal that you can buy through indirectly, although then you have to worry about the stability of the company. That's kind of a rabbit hole. Let's not go down that. Or you can try to time it technically. When I get a chance, I'm going to look at the technical chart of Bitcoin, and we'll see that it trades a lot like the S&P 500, and therefore we can perhaps more successfully time our purchases than just buying it dollar cost averaging or buying at random. Those are my thoughts on Bitcoin. Hey, answer me this question. I guess I'm showing my ignorance here, but I know that one of the reasons it is theoretically going to go up in value is because of the finite number of coins. I've heard it said over and over again that only 21 million Bitcoins will ever be made. I guess my question is why? What prevents, I don't know, an organization, the world, whoever, from just making more Bitcoins, raising that number just like the government is going to raise the debt ceiling? Maybe you can explain that to me. But like I said, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think your percentages are on whether Bitcoin goes to 1 million or 0 or somewhere in between. If you're interested in seeing my portfolio of stocks, I do show my portfolio and focus list every weekend, and I do technical analysis on that. So you might want to check it out. $10 a month. Take a look. There's a link in the description and in the comments. And I also encourage you to check out my partner, Seeking Alpha Premium. This is the #1 crowdsourced platform for analyst articles on stocks and Bitcoin. And as you can see, here's the price and a whole bunch of analysis articles that you can read on Bitcoin as well as news. Check it out. Link in the description and comments below. Take care.